What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, MizHoney. Ooh, that detox is working, baby. I feel so free and so clear. How y'all doing? Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It's your girl, MizHoney. Here with a review for Power Book 2 Ghost Season 1, Episode 3-4-ish. But the episode is called The Prince. Before we get going really good, you guys don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Remember to hit that little notification bell right next to the subscription button, and then hit all so that you can get all my uploads, community posts, lives, that type of thing. I'd love to see you there. Don't forget that thumbs up button. Y'all know it's like saying, hey, MizHoney. Also, comment down below. I answer all comments, or at least acknowledge the comment. And we love to banter down below, especially about this show. So let's just talk about all of our ancillary characters. First, Tasha. Tasha is calling Tariq from jail. She's giving those same little scared cartoon rabbit eyes. You know, that big... Tariq, how are you getting? I'm not stupid. I know what you're doing. You need to get a gun. Mama, I don't need no gun. I'm going in and out of these school buildings and things. Last thing I need to be caught with is a gun. Tariq, you in danger. You got to get a gun. Really? Really, this what we doing? Now, you went into jail saying, Tariq, you go to school. Let your mama handle this. You went from that to contemplating, let Tariq go and do the doggone eulogy for his own daddy whom he shot. Okay, and then you calling him and telling him he got to do something about the fact that you going down with this legal situation, trying to get out of jail because you won't quit lying, and you're a bad liar at that. Okay, you're putting pressure on. Now he got to get a gun. Now you got to get me a plan B pill. Like, come on, Tasha, you ain't worried about Tariq, or you'd have kept Tariq out of this whole doggone situation. Quit giving us these sad eyes, you know, and this frightened, like the devil's at my door look. Come on, girl, please. Later on, we get to see where Tasha's talking to the plan B girl. This girl she done got the pill for, and she trying to be friends with her and trying to get the girl to be her protection while she in jail. Although it don't seem like nobody is checking for Tasha at all, right? So she got this one dude that worked for Lorenzo, who is Monet's husband, watching her. And she feels like she being watched, but she thinks it's the female guard who been harassing her. No. Okay, later on we get to see where she talked to Tariq again on the phone, and right before that she was doing some push-ups. I was like, come on, Tasha. Try to give us a real jailhouse feel, a jail-esque, a jail-ish feel. You know what I'm saying? She doing push-ups, and she did like 3 or 4. I was like, you better come on, Tariq. You better come on, child, because I couldn't push this body up off the ground. I'm telling you. Not unless it was a man up underneath me. You know, then I can get superhuman strength. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so anyway. So, yeah, that's Tasha. So, let's talk about Davis. Now, Davis is getting his money, his second installment from Tariq, right? And Paula there. You know, Paula always there. Right, and I had already said Paula was giving me, in my mind, I felt like Paula was giving me she was giving me a lot of affection and worry for Davis. And I'm like, you just investigated. If this ship shut down, go to the next place. Like, she was just really invested, you know, with him. And later on, we get to see why. But Tariq want to know where his money going. Like, you out here doing dog and pony shows and using my money for that. And I need you to be trying to get my mama out of jail. And he said, I did that to prove to your mama that she couldn't get on the stand and testify for herself. Okay, and Tariq is like, Like, he see his point, because he know his mom is a terrible, terrible liar. And so, he tell him now what he gonna do now is he going after Stacks. Because hopefully he can get the case, if he proves that Stacks has done some unethical things, okay, unlawful things, then he can get Stacks removed and the case bumped down to back to local status, or get it dismissed altogether, even better, right? And Tariq is like, fine, just get it done, right? And he told him, if you gonna shoot for Stacks, you better have your target set. You know what I'm saying? You better hit that target, okay? Because Stacks is not easy to take down. Now we know that you know, it's been quite a few people that have tried to go after Stacks and have failed miserably, because I mean, he is a Caucasian male. He gets away with just about anything he wants to do. He gets away with it, child. We know that in real life. Anywho, so it's his idea to go before the judge. He takes Stacks before the judge. Now, a lot of these scenes getting shot right in the judge's office. We spend a lot of time in the judge's office, right? So they go before the judge, and the judge, he tells him he thinks Stacks has been unethical, and he thinks he's done several things that would warrant him being taken off this case, or at the very least the case dismissed. And the judge say, you know, Stacks is like, this is ridiculous. The judge say, if you have done these things, you will be removed. I am going to hold your feet to the fire about this. Now, go ahead and bring your witnesses in, Davis, and let me talk to them and see what's going on with Stacks. Well, he brings his witnesses in. He got Blanca and he got Tate. Now, the incidences that Davis brought up before the judge in front of Stacks went, and of course, while Davis is getting his witnesses together, Stacks is going and he is proving, you know, making these moves to prove that whatever Davis is saying is not true. So he talks to Ott and Mott about Tate. He need them to talk to Tate. And whatever Tate's gonna say about this thing that I may or may not have made him do, I need him not to say that, right? So they gonna take care of that. And he works on undoing Blanca's testimony. So Blanca's testimony comes up, and she is there, and she is telling her testimony about how he did this, that, and the third. And then the judge was like, well, were you there? Did you see it? And she was like, no. And she was like, well, can you tell me about some stuff that you was actually present for? So then she tells the fourth and fifth thing. And then more specifically about Tate, about the fact that Stacks strong-armed Tate into saying these horrible things about James St. Patrick, which allowed them to go and investigate James St. Patrick, get warrants and all this other stuff, and, you know, press charges. And so Stacks easily undoes her by telling her, you know, all of these things you're saying, you witnessed, you was present, therefore you never turned me in, you never reported me, you never said a word, you never stopped me, like what's tea? And basically she gets thrown out altogether. And then they bring in Lorenz Tate. Lorenz Tate is trying to tell them, you know, oh no, St. Patrick was a upstanding businessman, and no, Stacks did not try to talk me into doing anything. He didn't coerce me in any type of way, and this is all that it is. Lorenz Tate was so cheeky. He was so hammy. He was so, let me just say that. In this episode, more specifically, we get to see a lot of really flat acting. We get to see a lot of acting that doesn't have any depth. We get to hear regurgitated lines, but we don't really get to see them acted out. We don't get to see them emoted. That's not what's happening in this episode, and it bugs me because I can't really buy into the storylines when they're delivered so poorly, when they're delivered in this really flat, one-dimensional, you know, middle school play-ish type of way. This is what we're getting from the Tate character. This is what we're getting from the Tate character. We're just getting this really, you know, cheeky, hammy, and, you know, he's obviously crooked, and he's delivering these lines as if he's upstanding, but he's doing it in this really, really sort of hammy type of way, you know what I mean? you know, it's obvious in his body language that he's a liar. So it's a bust. The judge says she doesn't find where Stacks has done anything wrong, and the case will go forward. And I'm just like, what is the money for? What's David supposed to be good at? I just don't get it. Like, did you talk to Blanca? You didn't ask Blanca, did she witness any of these things? You didn't get no concrete proof. Blanca, where your proof at? Like, are you so sure you could get him? You thought it was just gonna be word of mouth? I mean, Davis is not a great lawyer. He's not a great lawyer. Not yet. I mean, I don't know when it's coming, but not yet. Later on, we get to see his investigator, Paula, after kind of chiding him a little bit about the fact that he's taking this cash money from this kid and he just doesn't know where it's coming from and this can't be done. She goes and sees Tariq and she gives him that money back and she tells him that it has to be wire transfer. They have to have it recorded and on the book. See, Davis is trying to win this case and be this big super legal star, right? She's trying to keep his business open and business afloat. But like I said, she's showing him a lot of affection. She's having she seems very vested in Davis and his firm, right? And so when he takes the money and throws it in the bag, she sees that he has a firearm. Okay, and so later on when she's with Davis, her and Davis are in the bed together, and they try to make it like a surprise. I was just like, who else would it have been underneath them covers? Like, why else would we care if it wasn't somebody we know? We know it was Davis. So he crawls out from under the covers, and they kiss, and it's supposed to be this passionate moment. We had 3 love scenes, and I just wasn't impressed by any of them. I wasn't impressed about any of the male bottoms that we got a chance to see. They weren't nice. I think that it's okay to put a little makeup on, especially if you got a lot of uneven skin tone. You know, yeah. And also on a side note, you don't just exfoliate your face, children. You exfoliate your whole body. You need to get that dead skin off so that new skin can shine through and be bright. All of this darkness, real dark, dry looking skin, and then you got beautiful brown skin around it on your rump area. Get back there with a little exfoliant and get down into the crevice of the thing and get that thing exfoliated. You know what I'm saying? Get that dead skin out of there. Okay, so they making sweet love. It is just the worst. It's awful. It's terrible. It is so in between the scribble lines, Showtime, 1980. Like, it is terrible. Anyway, she know he married. He tried to explain. She said, we both know what it is. You don't have to explain to me. I'm good. But it's clear that you're in love with this man. Then Stacks is, he has just been saved by the hair on his chinny chin with this Blanca testimony situation. And he wants the guy that's investigating for him to put a tail on Tariq. He ain't gonna put a tail on Tariq because Tariq is a minor. Okay, you already done got called out for that. So he, the guy leaves and says, let me see what I can find out, you know, legally. 2 police car officers walk up and they got his niece. Evidently she was caught in the park buying drugs. Now she got on like 4 different types of plaid and pink hair, and she looked like she might be mixed with white and Asian, but I mean, maybe not. She just looked like she might be white and Asian, you know. But this is his niece, and he wants her to go and spy on Tariq for him. Do him this favor, because he done got her out of the clink. He done saved her from being locked up about the drugs, and she getting sassy at the mouth with the police officers, you know, which she can do because she's well-to-do. And also, if she not fully Caucasian, she look like it to some degree. She's something other than black. So yeah, she feels completely entitled to talk to the police any old kind of way. And nothing, what's the worst can happen, right? Like, yeah, they just gonna give me to my uncle. So I ain't gonna tell your mom and dad if you go spy on Tariq for me. This is what he tell her. And she's like, no, I don't want to do this. He was like, yeah, you gonna do this, right? And more flat acting, more just really cliche, rhetorical, just flat. Just goes nowhere, just and just lays there. You know what I'm saying? It's just missionary, dead, no movement, nada. We see where Milgram and Jabari, the two of them, well, Jabari's ready to offer a fellowship, and fellowship is kind of like an internship type situation where it is a, you know, it'll put you in a position where you can graduate early. He's taking canonical studies, but if he gets this fellowship as well, it's gonna help him graduate even that much earlier, right? Lauren, his little friend in class, she wants to get the fellowship as well. Now, the ghetto girl in the class let us know that Lauren's boyfriend, Malcolm, lives in D.C. and the fellowship is in D.C. And so, oh, you're going to be a little bit closer to your boyfriend. And Tariq's like, boyfriend, and she was just like, So it's like, oh, what's going on with that? So she tiptoes down to the end of the front of the classroom and asks Jabari, she say, hey, I would love to do this fellowship. Would you come and have dinner? You know, and he thinks she wants him to have dinner with her because, you know, here's another conquest that he could possibly have. But she was like, I meet my parents, they love your books, yada, yada, yada. Now, Milgram is off to the side and she's watching all of this. She's looking at this and she's feeling kind of jealous. Now, she already heard him bumping and grinding with one of his grad students in the room in his office next door. And so she thinking he got an eye for Lauren. And it ain't that type of situation. Lauren is just trying to get this fellowship. He said, okay, that's fine. When he realized it's with her parents, he said, but you should also invite Professor Milgram, right? And she'll be able to give a different perspective and open up the information about the fellowship a little bit more to your parents, yada, yada, yada. And also invite another student. And Tariq is right there. He was like, I'll come. And she is like, great. She's thinking she could get him all to herself and schmooze him. And he gonna give her the fellowship. So, later on, after they leave dinner at Lauren's parents' house, who they uppity. They are so uppity. They Milgram comes into the house, and you know, she's feeling like the way she came into the house just walked in. She wasn't really invited in, and looking at all the photos, when she saw that Jabari was there, she was all surprised. Well, Jabari was one that invited her there, so she must have been, the way she came in the house was like she was coming in there to see what Lauren was all about, like Lauren was her competition. Okay, so she must not have known that or heard that Jabari said you should invite Milgram. So she was just watching, not listening, but she was watching to the interaction. She obviously didn't know what it was because she was surprised to see them. So when she came into the house, she was coming into the house like Lauren was competition. Like the girl was competition. I was like, how old are you, Milgram? Yeah, I already see it now. Her and Tariq gonna get into some type of sexual situation, I'm telling you. And knowing Tariq is something he gonna use later on to blackmail her with, but yeah, I can see that she's the type of individual that doesn't understand boundaries, you know. Anyway, they at the dinner, doggone it, and they are quibbling and arguing like people don't realize that y'all, it sound like y'all had something going on. Like it sound like y'all, why y'all arguing like a married couple? Like it's something there. Lauren can tell it. Tariq can tell it. I'm sure that the parents can tell it. And these two act like they're not professionals. Like, and he's supposed to be a writer and she's supposed to be a college advisor. Like, it was just so petty and weird. And later on, instead of her going to her after dinner, instead of her going to her house and him going to his house, they somehow end up back at her office. I was like, what is y'all doing here? Your sponsor, your sex addict sponsor told you, girl, you're not supposed to be alone with this dude, especially since you can't resist the dick. You know what I'm saying? You got an issue, you know what I'm saying, with this specific penis where you can't be alone with it. Here you are in your office, and y'all back, they in there like they back at home, like they had just got out of the garage good, baby, and they going at it. You know, just all this old petty, stupid, nonsensical argument. Like I said, it's just filler. You guys are just filler. And Um, she ended up going to the door and locking the door, child. She's supposed to be so upset and so mad, and he done said some stuff that's gotten her pot all steamy and moist deep down inside, and right now she got to have him, okay? And she is taking this really take charge, I mean business approach, baby. It is the worst. The only thing worse than their acting was that sex scene. Like, we did get to see his booty, which was nice in terms of form, but in terms of coloration, 2 thumbs down. You guys got to learn how to exfoliate. Anywho, that acting, it was just like, this is your line, and this is my line, and then your line, and then my line, and then crescendo, and go lock the door, slap his hand away, snatch all of his clothes off, show your booty, throw him down on the couch, take off your skirt, and take off your top, bra, no panties, down on the penis, grinding it out, and kissing in this, supposed to be this fevered pitch of love making, and it was just why do we get another Milgram Jabari sex scene? Why? What's the point? What are we doing here? Like, where is this going? Like, what's happening right now? That's Milgram and Jabari. Braden, who is our lovable goof, inadvertent narc, and useful tool for Tariq, aka Tariq's business partner. If he walked into another room, okay, and inadvertently let out some information about the fact that he and Tariq are drug dealers, I'm gonna shoot him myself. Like, Tariq, this dude's gonna be a problem for you. This dude's gonna be a problem for you. And you know, of the two of you, the one that's more likely to go to jail is your blackness, okay, not his. I don't know why you're dealing with this dude, except that you may be supremely setting him up in some sort of way. You know, that's the only thing I can think of. Like, Tariq definitely uses him as a tool. He doesn't value Braden at all. He doesn't take Braden as serious. I don't think he considers Braden his partner, even though Braden acts like he's Tariq's partner. But we see where he is the one that sort of interacts with Stack's niece. Because at this party, Stack's niece tries to approach Tariq, and Tariq is like, Bill, I don't know you, and walks off. Well, he looks at her and he thinks she's a hottie. I was like, first of all, she got on way too many clothes. Second of all, it is just all these different colored plaids. Like, she was just giving me throw up tease. Anyway, if she get any information about what Tariq is doing, she gonna get it from Braden. Okay, Tariq goes up to the highest level, and he uses Braden basically by telling the dude up there that if you need some pills, that Braden got them, right? Why you need to do all that when you got the app? Why you need to be hustling backwards like this, some old baseline drug dealing type situation when you got the app, right? Like, it's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. But anyway, he said Braden got the drugs, and the guy tells another guy, and this guy is Tariq's competition. He goes down to fight Braden, and it ain't about the scuffle, it's about the fact that Braden is a Weston, and because he's a Weston, this dude gets suspended from the college, and he can't sell drugs. There's competition gone. He used Braden's name to do that, okay, because his family got buildings there, the Westons do. So like I said, he's kind of using Braden as a tool, but Braden is going to be an issue. We see Drew, Kane, and Diana. All right. We get to see where Kane and Monet go to meet up with the GTG guys. And when they go to meet up with these individuals, these are the ones that's on social media and all of this stuff, just putting a drug business out there in a real raggedy type way. And so it's this really cliche setup where she's standing there in a fur coat and this really, really beautiful, long, straight wig, which I think I've seen that color and that wig on for its rocks, but not at the same time. Meaning I've seen that wig, but not that color, and that color, but not that wig, you know, that style, that cut. On rocks. And I don't mean wig, I mean unit, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, y'all tell me if y'all know that. If y'all watch Four Rocks, yeah. She was giving me Four Rocks tees. She was giving me Four Rocks tees, and she had that fur coat, and then she's got Kane standing next to her. Now listen, Kane is played by Woody McClain, who's a really good actor. I think he was in a New Edition biopic or something like that, and he was on Instagram. Like, he's a good actor. I don't know why I didn't get him when I first started watching it. Like, I didn't recognize Kane as Woody McClain. Anyway, so yeah. So they're standing there side by side, and she's looking, you know, very, very rich and powerful and very queen pin-ish. And then the GTG guys are standing like in a triangle type, you know, they spread out, you know, and the head of the gang is right at the point of the triangle, and they all standing there with their hands, you know, below their crotch, trying to look all hard, all wide-legged and everything. And she's telling them, y'all gonna have to shut it down. The block is hot because y'all been out here on this scanner net and things like that. The police is crawling all around y'all, and it's gonna mess up this business. It's gonna mess up this family. I can't have that. So y'all gonna have to just cut it. Cut it for now. No, nothing. I'm pulling y'all off the streets for now. And you know, think about what you've done. And learn from this. She turned to walk off, and the guy calls her punta. I was like, what? You know, that's like see you next Tuesday, but in Spanish. And she said, what you say, Stacey? You said what now? Because he tried to kind of say them punta. And she was like, you said what now? And he said, he just stood there. And Kane was like, I'm finna know. She's like, nah. I think, okay, well, she finna do her own dirty work right now. Yeah, she finna get to it with him. She finna show us why everybody's so scared of her. And then she say, say it again. And the guy was just standing. She say, say it again, say it. And he was like, boom, boom. Kane comes in and just starts rocking his block, just rocking it. And one of the leaders, gang members, went to make a move, and she said, "You sure you want to do that? You sure you want to do that? And the guy was like, well, no, I was just scratching my ear because she was like, yeah, that's what I thought. And then he just kept rocking him. Got up off of him. The guys laid out, and they walking off together like movie stars, right? It was like an old abandoned warehouse or something. Like, it was just so, you know, New Jack City cinematographic type moment. Anyway, I thought she was gonna kill him. You know, it was funny, and she laughed, and he laughed, and they just good. But that's why I rocks with you, because you know how to handle your business, huh? Okay, later on when they all gathered together, okay, she want to figure out what's going on with Tariq. Tariq is I need somebody to keep an eye on Tariq to make sure he don't get out of pocket. She can't send Kane because Kane is not gonna be as easily disguised on this campus. Okay, first of all, just keeping it real. He's of a darker hue. He doesn't have the social skills necessarily to float through, okay, to answer questions if he was questioned in any type of way. He looks like a dude from the streets. And she doesn't need that. She needs Drew to go because Drew is more mainstream looking, right? Now, you know, Drew is into art. Remember him and Tariq talking at the table, and you know, he's more logical. He comes across a little bit more intellectual, and so he'll fit right in on the campus. Now, you know, of course, Diana want to go because she want a chance, number one, to be around college kids, and number two, she want to go because she want to see Tariq because she got a little bit of an eye. Well, no. Drew is going to go, and Drew is going to handle it, right? And she made Diana give her phone. Give me this phone. You trying to be slick. I got to keep my eye on you. I can't send you to keep your eye on nobody else. All right? And so Drew goes up there to see Tariq, and Tariq is just like, why are you here? Like, what are you doing here? Like, I didn't call you. And did Monet send you? And he was like, listen, if if you just let this thing happen, okay, we can both go on about our business, right? So Tariq takes him to art class, and when he gets to art class with Tariq, Tariq, of course, trying to shake him, so he goes and sits somewhere else, and there's a dude there right at the door who wouldn't mind if Drew come sit down with him, okay? And Drew wouldn't mind sitting down with this dude, right? Okay, family no family, right? Shout out to Badu, who was able to clock Drew from episode 1. She was able to clock Drew, okay, for being, you know, in an alternative lifestyle. So he sits down with this guy, and in this moment, I felt like he was just giving us a lot of masculine energy from episode 1 and 2 and 3. I didn't find him to be soft. I just thought that he was an individual that took a different approach. But in this moment, we get to see where he is relaxed and he is himself, and he is able to be just a little bit more, explore more of his feminine energy. And he is giggling and just giving us a little a little saucy, sassy side. I was like, oh, okay. And later on, him and this dude, which the dude was remarkably tall. Not remarkably, but you know what I'm saying? He was tall. Like when he was sitting down at the easel, he seemed short. He seemed small by head size and everything. But when he stood up against Drew, he was probably a good foot and a half taller than Drew to me, from my viewing. Well, they get into some, you know, sexual entanglement, and it's about to go down, and he's getting phone calls from his mother. Well, she calling him from Diana's phone, and so he was like, I gotta go with my mama. And he steps away and takes the phone call, and then he calls Diana. Well, Monet got Diana's phone, and she want Diana to answer the phone but put it on speaker because she trying to figure out what's going on. When he see that Diana's calling, he also see where Tariq has called him 5 times. Tariq need more drugs, and he need them ASAP, right? And so he calling Diana and asking Diana to bring the drugs down there. Well, Monet hears all of this, and you know, she ends up giving Diana her phone back because while you trying to run me, you don't even know where your own son is, and you sent who you thought was the responsible one over the seat to check on Tariq. So now I need to go take all these drugs, and a lot of them, because Tariq is run completely out of drugs using this app, and I get to see Tariq. So we see where Diana goes to see Tariq and takes him the drugs, and get one sad story after another about her family, and quibble, and she ends up kissing him, right? Everybody's kissing Tariq. In comes Drew, and Drew wants to know what the two of them was doing. And she was like, no, what you been doing? And he was like, touche. Touche. Okay. Later on, when he's in the shower, after he got his cut from Tariq, the family's cut from Tariq, she comes in and she's talking to him while he's in the shower. And he says, what's going on with Tariq? She says, what's going on with Tariq? And he says, well, you know, he's just taking classes and doing really good, and really selling the, you know, the product. And she wants to know where the money is. It's in my bag. Goes in the bag, and she sees the money, but she also sees this drawing book where he has drawn this guy's chest, and she has a little talk with him about the fact that it's not about him being tough or about him being hard, but he is the smart one. He is the one that uses his brain, and she doesn't want him to think less of himself because he is thought of in this way as the more intellectual one, the more sensitive one. And she also doesn't want him to let these guys out here hurt him. I was like, oh. See, mother always knows. Mother always knows, children. Now, let's talk about Tariq. Okay, so like I said, Tariq is doing really well. And one of the reasons why he's doing really well is because he had this idea that he would open up an app for tutoring. But it would also be an app that he could use to sell drugs. Okay, so if you want your standard tutoring, you go in on your standard package. If you want drugs, you go in under the premium package. And depending on which class you choose, depends on which drug you're looking for, right? So it's a great idea. He's taking it to Stern, and I'm assuming he's taking it to Stern not to tell him that he's selling drugs, but taking it to Stern to see if he can get him somebody that can build an app and do the coding for it. When he gets there, he meets Sebastian. Sebastian is Stern's husband. They just got married. And he's, I guess what they call a twink. You know what I mean? Like, Stern is older, and he's young and thin, and I don't know if he's a twink, but I'm just saying, you know, he's anyway, a young boy. He's a grown man, but he's a young man. You know what I mean? And they strike up this deal because he's the one that do coding, keep it a secret from Stern, and he get 5% off the top. And Tariq working the business, right? Later on, he's got to reapproach this guy because after he sees Paula and Paula tells him she can no longer take cash, he needs him to do wire transfers. The guy ups it to 15%. And Tariq balks a little bit, but he concedes. I was like, oh, Lord, he going to end up killing Sebastian dead, child. You don't know who you're playing with. So the business is doing really well. The papers that they're writing for for the students come in these orange envelopes, and then depending on if you got a little dope with that, your dope might be in there too. So he's surveying the the student yard and everything, and he's seeing all these orange envelopes popping up everywhere, and he's making money hand over fist, but he's running out of product. Okay, and that's why he was calling Drew several times, and that's why Diana came up and they ended up kissing, was because she brought the stash, right? He's selling it left and right, and he's feeling good about himself. He's very proud of it. This episode is called The Prince because one of the books that they're reading in class, I think in order to do the fellowship, you have to excel on your summation or your thesis on this book, Prince. And so he goes over to, he's late. He's so late, they're having dessert, and Lauren's parents are making quips about colored people time and that type of thing. Now the guy that's playing Lauren's dad is kind of effeminate to me. At this point, I'm thinking to myself, what's happening here? Anyway, Jabari and Milgram going back and forth at the table. It makes it an uncomfortable situation. He's already late. Lauren takes him upstairs and wants to chit chat with him a little bit, basically trying to get away from this awkward moment at the table. They go upstairs and talk about her brother, who was under a lot of pressure and was academic and ended up taking prescription drugs to cope, and then from prescription drugs he moved on to harder drugs and somehow has ended up in rehab. And I don't know if it's just drug rehab or if he's just in a place where because he had a little bit of a breakdown, right? Anyway, they somehow end up kissing, and it could have gone a little bit further, except that Malcolm, Lauren's boyfriend, is at the door, and he has brought flowers. Now, Tariq was late because, one, he always late, and two, because he went by the flower shop, which was already closed, and apparently you don't catch Ubers. He runs everywhere. I guess this is supposed to denote the fact that he's super busy, is the fact that he's running everywhere. This guy brings the flowers, right? And he brings compliments for the mom. Malcolm is not at all what I expected. He seems a little bit effeminate to me, just like Lauren's daddy does. And I'm like, who is writing this episode? Who directed this episode? Tyler Perry? Because the acting is bad, and the it is a lot of gay men in this episode, whether they openly gay or gay actors playing straight men. Like, I was not buying at all that Malcolm was her boyfriend. Her friend, maybe a good friend from high school, but not her boyfriend. I was like, child bye. No wonder she climbing Tariq's pole, child. That poll is not open for business to her. Anywho, so that was a whole fellowship dinner at Lauren's. Tariq is juggling a lot. You know, he's juggling school, he's juggling the drug dealing and running the drug game. He's getting kisses from Lauren and from Diana. I do somehow think he's gonna end up being involved with Milgram in a sexual way. He's ditching and dodging. He's being questioned about where he's getting the money from. He lies to Paula and tells Paula, when she tells him she can no longer take cash, when she saw the gun, he lies to her and tell her he getting the money from his grandmama. The money that his daddy left his grandmama, he been taking some money from it. I was like, you ain't taking $20. You ain't taking $40. No, you giving this dude $250,000, $150,000 at a time. Like, where, like, you, this is not money you pilfer out. This ain't money you steal out your granny's wallet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was stupid. But he told it in this real childlike manner, which we learned in this episode that Tariq is 17 now. He's not 18, he's 17. So he's gone to college, I guess, early. Some kids go at 17, depending on when they started school and finished school and how they finished school and all of that. But he's 17, not 18. We see where, you know, he's making these connections with people, just like his dad did, just kind of hustling through. But we know that Tariq, just like his father, looks at everyone as commodities. You know, an opportunity. Everyone except, I think, Tasha and his grandma and Jazz, he looks at them as commodities. So I don't think he's invested at all in whatever situation he got going on with Lauren. Basically, for the most part, he's letting her know it's a competition, may the best man win, that type of situation. He's not pressed about her boyfriend Malcolm. She sees his phone ring and sees it's Diana, and she knows that there's a Diana there. So he's established this understanding with her, and we know, just like his dad Ghost, that he could double cross Lauren to get what he want, just like he could double cross Diana and her family to get what he want. So he doesn't have a lot invested in these ancillary characters that he's working with. He has to keep Monet happy, and he has to keep a watchful eye on Brayden, because Brayden is really how the whole thing gon' come apart, in my opinion. Once he gets comfy with this girl and they get to doing drugs and stuff together, I'm telling you, with Stack's niece, I'm telling you, he's gonna tell way more than he should. Yeah, so that is the episode. Basically, you guys tell me what you think. Put it down below. What did you guys think about the acting? What did you guys think about the actors? Like, I wasn't buying this Malcolm guy as her boyfriend. Like, he didn't seem like anybody Tariq would be even remotely threatened by. You know what I'm saying? Y'all tell me what you think. Y'all put it down below. Did you see how her dad was coming across? Did you feel what I'm saying about the conversation, the dialogue between Jabari and Milgram in her office after dinner? Like, it was just so stage played, you know, we rehearsed our lines, let's run through it type situation. Like, it was but we got to see, you know, one moderately good love scene, which was between Drew and the dude that he met in art class. It was I mean, it didn't go that far. We didn't get to see a lot, but it was enough to be better than these other two heterosexual-esque type love scenes. Y'all tell me what you think. Put it down below. And until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'll holla.